Hey everyone, how's it going? You-Rounder here, and today we are playing some 25 no limit zone poker on Ignition Poker. You'll notice I've got my headphones on as well today, just trying to see if it makes any difference in the audio quality. It's kind of nice having my headphones on because when I do, I can actually hear, what my microphone audio sounds like. Therefore, if I accidentally do something like lean back, I can tell that all of a sudden you can't hear it nearly as well. And as I've mentioned before in the past with this particular microphone, you kind of need to stay right up on it to have the best audio quality. And I'm going to be shooting, I guess I would call it like a professional video this weekend. So I want to start practicing making sure the audio is very clear, as well as then doing some post-production editing. Therefore, I want to, get the software I need and make sure everything's cleaned up well so that I can put out a good product. The product that I'm going to be working on this weekend is Poker Snowy. And I'm looking forward to it. I also just found out, I was just looking through some hands, and I need to make sure that I can figure out how to import that the Ignition hands are importing into Poker Snowy correctly. There should not be any change from Bovada, because everything else I have that worked with Bovada works on Ignition. But I just need to make sure that it's all working smoothly so that I can get all my Ignition hands into Poker Snowy and start doing some analysis. One thing I've noticed with the new Snowy AI is that it's finding a lot more errors in my play, which is good news, right? Because if there's more errors, we have more ways we can improve. Why did I just sit out there? Huh. So we've got a relatively dry board. I think we would bet small on this, right? Because we're gonna have a lot of like medium strength hands. We're gonna have nines, we're gonna have sevens, we're gonna have some pocket pairs and things, and we'll probably want to bet relatively small. We do get raised. I don't know if this is a board I have much of a raising range on. It's probably mostly draws, which we're ahead of, and we're in position. I actually was going to call. I was in the middle of talking myself into calling there. Wouldn't have turned any equity, so I guess it worked out. Man, that is one thing that I really I don't like about the zone tables. You don't really see too many. I really want like half that. You don't see too many three bets in zone poker. So usually when people three bet, they have a pretty good hand, and I think it makes sense to go ahead and four bet. We'll just bet half pot and hope that he jams with like a pair of kings. Ace 10, I'll call in the big blind. We get a 3-card straight and 2 overcards, so that's not too bad. It's like he folded. And we are out of position, so we'll just check fold on table 2. I am doing my absolute best to not have any distractions. I don't even have any music going just because the audio setup required to get the music going in my headphones is a little bit more intense. This guy's only got 883, so I guess like maybe min raise here. Oh, god darn it. This wasn't happening the other day when I played zone. I was having much better success at not sitting out. So he does the limp re-raise from under the gun. That's fine. And that's actually, that's one of the reasons I just min raised. I wanted to maybe isolate him and play alone, but I didn't want to make a large isolation raise, like a pot raise, and then have that happen, or have somebody else re-raise me when I had a pretty weak hand. But I was willing to play it in position. And here we've got min raises. I'm just going to call, even though I'm out of position. It's not great. I'm not going to get folds. This guy's short. We do have aces on Jack 10. This is a pretty draw heavy board with 2 face cards, so we're going to bet pretty large on this board. That's an interesting card. I don't know if it's necessarily good. Like a board pairing 3 would have been nice. I think we want to bet half pot, and if he like jams over the top, we'll fold. Yeah, 2 pair. Okay. So I think we played that well. I think our bet sizes were pretty good. Maybe larger. Maybe we should be betting larger on those, because even though we're sort of at the bottom of our range for betting large, if we're going to bet there, it maybe should be a larger bet. It also gets more honest responses going into psychology a little. It'll get a more honest response from our opponent if we bet a little bit larger. And we do have a strong hand. I mean, we have a set. We have top set. So it's not like we have a weak hand, but when flushes and straights are possible, it is not the nuts. But we're going to bet. So we're going to bet larger with our straights and our flushes and our bluffs when we bluff there. I'm not sure how frequently we're bluffing in a spot like that. Not to say that we shouldn't be, just me personally. Like, I'm not sure how often I'm throwing out the big bluffs on that board. Possibly not often as I should. I actually probably should be standing up. I did find that I felt a bit more focused standing up. Should also probably open the blinds and let some sunlight in. How did I sit out there? I don't even. I thought I like checked. I thought the hand was over there. That probably should have been a call. That was a mistake. I was frustrated by having to fold over here on the left, and I actually I should have either called or raised possibly on table 2 with the king 9. I think this is going to be a spot where we bet. Like maybe it might be like a half pot bet. Because it's not unreasonable for overcards to occasionally peel here. And we still have a pretty strong hand, but obviously not at the top of our range. What am I doing? We could call or we could raise. I don't think it matters too much. Let's raise. You know what I just noticed? My HUD's not showing up. Oh, never mind. It's zone. That's why. That is why, and we can raise with our queen jack off. We do have a 3-card flush here. It does check to us. We have position, so I am going to go ahead and bet. I want to start applying pressure because we are going to have some cards we can barrel. That is obviously one of them. And I mean, half pot, this is a 3-bet pot technically, so we don't need to bet as large as we normally would. Oh, and sometimes that happens. So that's good. Obviously, if I'd known I was going to get there, I would have sized up the turn bet a little more, but yeah, what can you do? We'll fold the 2-3. I am trying to open very wide in the small blind just because you are going to have players that have like already sat out. You're going to get a lot of folds, especially in zone poker. So here we've got a king high with a flush draw. I think this is a spot to bet pretty large. I don't think we want to. Obviously, we're not slow playing, but let's just go for like 5. I mean, obviously we're going to be able to get all in, but we want to be betting large where there's still some draws out there, and there's no folding now. If he hit a backdoor flush or a straight, good for him. Definitely possible, but still not folding. And again, 2 face cards. I opened under the gun. Probably want to bet pretty big here. So yeah, leading the river there, obviously his best chance of winning on table 1 on the left. Not sure if this will pull up the right hand or not. No. I just don't understand like what rhyme or reason this hand replayer has. I feel like I'm clicking back 1 hand and it's going 3 hands at a time. Anyway, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if his play's any good or not. Probably not. But it was also very likely that was the only way he was going to win. Just like me right here. Like the only way I win there is if I make a little bet, which, I'm not sure if it's worth it or not. Here we're out of position on table 2, so we're going to be checking a lot. And the king is like such a standard barrel card. We're actually going to hit that card a fair amount. And, we may or may not check it when we actually hit it. And now, we've got ace high. Very small pot. If we can take it down with ace high, then that's great. If not, then I would have folded there anyway, but I don't like sitting out. Oh, you know why I'm timing out more? I turned off all the audio. Let me turn the sound up a little bit so at least I can hear the beeps. I know you guys will probably be able to hear a few of them as well, and I apologize for that, but it definitely helps me not miss when action is needed. Jack 9 off against a short stack. I'm just gonna muck it. I looked at it thinking maybe it would be a opportunity to 3-bet, but Jack 9 offsuit's really not that great. Queen 9 I'll complete. One thing I have started doing a little bit more is just kind of little, I would call them fishy things, but they're probably correct. It's just that they don't come up at higher levels of play where you have, 3 limpers and you have queen 9 in the small blind. A lot of people would probably argue that you should just raise that up, but realistically, the situation that's most common when you do that is you end up playing multi-way out of position with a bad hand. And that's not really what we're, that shouldn't be our goal. If people really were folding frequently when they limped, then that would be the correct play. That's just not the case here. One thing I should be doing at least a little bit is paying attention to the stack sizes of my opponents. Not that it will usually do much, but that's the way you can kind of tell when you're playing against the same person, is if you see a guy with $80 and then you see a guy again with $80, then it could be the same person. I probably should be raising 100% in the small blind, but 7-3 offsuits. If there's a hand you're gonna fold, that and 7-2 offsuit make pretty good options. Ace-9 off from the cutoff is gonna be an open. I actually have to go out and do quite a bit more driving today, as I am a Lyft driver now. So I'll probably keep plugging this for a while, but there's a link in the description. If you guys haven't signed up for Lyft, go ahead and click the link and you'll get $50 free. And I will get some money. So if you guys haven't tried out Lyft and you use Uber, or you haven't tried out either, go ahead, give Lyft a shot. Click that link. And gut shot, no flush draw, out of position, 2 people left to act. We'll go ahead and let that one go. So I am curious, now that the Poker Snowy AI has improved pretty significantly, it looks like, and they've incorporated the smaller bet size and everything else, I am really excited about putting in some hands and seeing if I can, over time, increase my skill level according to the software. This guy's only got $10, so I'm not sure if there's a ton of value in raising. Since realistically, we want to keep the stack to pot ratio small. So he essentially hit the pop button here, and we've got third pair. I'm not convinced that we're behind, but I don't think it's quite worth it to call. There's 57-cent pot here that we might take down. Nope. Wow. So he played that pretty passively. So yeah, like I was saying, I've got a few months, like June, July, and August, hands that are loaded into Poker Snowy, and it'll be interesting to see if I play, somewhere in the ballpark of like 10,000 hands a month or so. Hopefully more than that, but at a minimum, 10,000 hands a month to see if, those samples should be plenty to get a skill level indicator from Poker Snowy, right? We're not talking about win rates or things like that, which have tons of variance. We're talking about actual correct decisions. And it'll be interesting if we can get a few thousand hands a month and see if we are actually improving by using the software and doing off-table study and things like that. So looking forward to seeing how that goes over the next few months. Obviously, the intent would be able to show graphically a nice correlation between the skill level in Poker Snowy, the win rate, and or the stakes that I'm playing increasing, and be able to show that that there's some correlation there and that I'm actually improving and increasing my win rate and able to move up in stakes. That's the other really cool thing about using Poker Snowy in general. Maybe tempting to raise there, right? Like, it's tempting. Yeah, might be something to look at later. Whether or not a raise is good there or not. I mean, folding's probably fine as well. But yeah, I think that looking at all that information. Oh, what I was saying was, the nice thing about using something like Poker Snowy is it's not grading you on your win rate. It's not grading you on your opponents. It's grading you against, its own best solution. And so I wish it wouldn't always sit you out every time. I mean, I guess that would be bad if you got disconnected and you were just like paying blinds for and not playing, but like at least give me a little time bank. So yeah, the nice thing about it is that, you know, what you're learning when you're playing 25 no limit is going to apply more and more as you move up, right? That's at least my belief, is that as you move up, it will be, you know, you will want to model your play closer and closer to what Poker Snowy recommends. And therefore, starting on it early at, you know, lower stakes is going to, you know, really benefit you as you start moving up. Yeah, so we really need to defend wide. We don't need to call post flop like a ton. I feel like this might be a spot where he can bet 100% pretty well, maybe not 100%, but maybe. I don't know. He might be able to bet a lot and often. We got a gut shot. Let's just call here. I didn't really quite see that, but we have 2 face cards, so. So we do miss. I don't expect him to have checked an ace twice. And we block the straight. So let's go ahead and fire a bluff and fire a bluff here as well. We have an open-ended straight and 3-card flush. And there's 2 face cards, so we do want to be betting large. Sizing kind of stinks. Looking at the stack sizes that are left, I mean, the problem is we're betting an amount that we're not going to have a lot of fold equity on the river. We didn't turn the diamond, which may or may not be a good thing. And if we get jammed on, we have to fold. So I don't. The sizing is kind of not great, but luckily it worked. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that with the zone tables, I mean, you have to be very quick about analyzing the situation fully, right? Like you can't, I don't know if this is a good ISO raise or not, ace 9. But you need to analyze everything very quickly, scan stack sizes quickly, and make a decision quickly. And, I mean, you know, it is what it is. So this is it's a limped pot that I ISO raised, but I'm going to kind of treat it like a 3-bet pot. I don't want to bet too big here because it's multi-way, so that makes my bet look stronger, and I'm out of position. And we hit the ace. I'm actually going to check and pot control this at this point. And I think I want to bet here to control the pot size in case he has a queen and he's like going to raise. So we'll just bet half pot. Sort of as a block. If he jams all in over the top, I mean, you know, we'll fold. Yeah. Oh, okay. Good. Chop. So that worked out. I mean, I think we probably want to mix in some checkbacks here. He checks twice on the ace-high board. I think we can bet small, maybe get a call from a 9 or worse. Plus we have the redraw to the hearts. It's definitely you need to balance and check back your flush draws occasionally. And the second nut high card is a decent one to do it with sometimes, I think. And you might say, well, it's zone poker, why do you need to balance? Well, because, you know, that is sort of the definition of correct play, or maybe part of it is, you know, playing balanced. And if, you know, just because you're not playing the same people over and over again, You're all playing against each other over and over again. And if this guy's got $9. And if you're not, balanced, and as a whole, people generally bet their flush draws, or somebody is used to seeing flush draws being bet, then they're going to establish on the turn that, this guy can't have made the flush. He bets the flush on the flop. And they'll make, mistakes against your balanced range just simply because you're playing balanced, and either they're not, so they interpret that in you, or just the player pool in general isn't playing balanced. I guess sort of convoluted and possibly confusing way to say that even when you're playing zone poker, you should be trying to play a balanced game. That's, whether or not you're playing zone or not, but also if you then transfer to live poker or regular table pokers, if you move up past the limit that they have speed tables, any of those reasons, it's a very good idea to barely have enough time to type in a bet size. So if we had a little more equity here, I would like raising. I don't know. Now I'm kind of confused. Like what decision should I be using to either better raise? So, I mean, unless this guy has an ace or small pair, which I'm not sure if that makes a lot of sense, I should probably be betting here. I mean, if he had a good hand on the turn that he liked, then, he usually bets twice, so, okay, king, queen. I actually played that pretty well. He pot controlled it well so that he was able to call, a large bet on the river on a sort of scary-looking board. He checked the flop with top pair. He was out of position, so that's the correct thing to do. Yeah, I think, if I raise that turn and then make a big bet on the river, it certainly puts him in a tougher spot. I also think if I raise the turn and he calls, I'm probably going to be a bit less inclined to be bluffing there. And out of position, bottom pair, we'll check. It's probably a check call, but we'll still check. And with third pair and the ace over card, I think we just, he has a lot of hands that we want to fold, right? So maybe we'll bet like $1. All right, so we wanted him to fold his overcards, and apparently he did not. So in that case, we're value betting against his overcards, apparently. Let's see what he actually had. No, I can't get the last hand. Ever. Oh, let me see. Replay. No, that's not it either. Why is it so hard to get the last hand on this website? Oh, so yeah, he called with ace king. So, yeah, that's why we bet there. That's why we bet. Okay, we're getting up on close to 30 minutes. I think that should be good. I uploaded a little vlog earlier from my car when I was heading home from my morning drive. So I talked a little bit in that, and then we'll get this poker video out. And as soon as I get everything sorted out with the Bovada card catcher, making sure that works on Ignition, and the hand converter, making sure that works on Ignition, and then making sure that I can get the Ignition hands into Poker Snowy, and also the fact that it takes a day or two to get the hands from Ignition to put into Poker Snowy. Managing hand history is a real pain with Ignition, and was a real pain with Bovada and continues to be a pain with Ignition. I'm not quite sure why the poker tracker can't figure out how to deal with the Bovada hands. It seems like there's enough players playing on Ignition Bovada that it would be worth their while, right? Like this is the largest US poker site. I don't know if Ignition is still, but Bovada certainly was. So it seems like they should be willing to do that, but who knows? This might be a little light. Queen 4 suited might be more of a button hand to open. And we'll just fold there. So overall, I think the session was pretty good. I mean, we had a few, right? We rebought a few times in the beginning, but I don't think once we got over a little bit over our buy-in, we've pretty much just been going. So we're probably up a little bit on the session. That's good. And I got into some interesting spots and had some decent discussion. So hopefully that is all good. And we'll just play till we sit out the big blind and call it a video. Then I'll get back out there and drive. I really do need to do a lot of driving this week so I can get my power driver bonus. And because Halloween's this weekend, I'm hoping that'll be a big night. Therefore, we're getting almost 3-1 here with Queen 9 suited. I mean, I know this guy. I sort of figured out that this guy was short as I was clicking the call button, in all honesty. But I mean, yeah, a guy with a short stack like this probably is often, sitting there with an overpair. Now we have a pretty good draw, right? 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've got an open-ended straight draw to the nuts end of this. If this was a club or a spade, I would absolutely shove all in here. I still think it can probably be okay, right? If he ever folds. Let's go for it, right? Oops. What? Oh. Okay, well. I'm not sure what to think of that. Anyway, interesting hand to go out on. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully I will be able to pull up all those hands and put them into Poker Snowy so that we can do some reviews of all of this play and try to find some patterns where we might be making small mistakes or big mistakes. Big mistakes are always good to find and eliminate, and go from there and see if we can start improving our Poker Snowy score over the next couple months. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment and ask questions. Let me know what you guys think, and hopefully I will see you all tomorrow.